Hi there, I'm Amanda, 31, and lately, things have taken a turn with my husband and his mom. I used to think marriage would be a breeze, but reality has set in. Life was so much easier when I was single, working as a vet assistant, surrounded by adorable pets, and embracing adventure on my trusty old bike from my dad. If it didn't hold sentimental value for him, I would have claimed it outright. My dad raised me on his own, and I've never felt the absence of a mom. He's an amazing dad, and I feel lucky to have him. After moving to Detroit, I started working at a vet clinic and quickly settled in. One day, while rushing to catch a cab, I met Steven. The cab driver was charming, with a classic boy-next-door vibe, and his silky hair caught my attention. Our playful banter made the ride enjoyable, and when our eyes met in the mirror, I felt a shy spark. He asked for my name and humorously suggested going out, which I playfully declined, telling him he wasn't my usual type, but we could be friends if he treated women right. Deal then. How about Italian food? I know a fantastic restaurant nearby that you'd love, he said, his excitement infectious. Are you serious about taking me out? I asked, intrigued. Absolutely, I adore Italian food, so it sounds perfect. That day, I felt energized at work, surprising my colleagues with my enthusiasm. Usually, there's an annoying dog, but I managed to stay calm. My friend Susan approached, noticing my distraction. What's up? Are you hiding something? I reassured her. Everything's great, just really happy. She quickly guessed I'd met someone cute, and I shared my story about Steven inviting me out. She teased me. A cab driver? Really? I defended him, insisting he was cute while she mentioned someone she had her eye on. That evening, Steven picked me up, and I was a bundle of nerves. He smelled incredible as he took me to a cozy spot by a small lake. The food was delicious, and as we enjoyed our pasta and wine, I couldn't help but notice his deep brown eyes and expressive eyebrows that lit up when he smiled. He mentioned introducing me to his mother, which felt a bit premature, maybe a red flag. I live with my dad and uncle in Wisconsin. They bought a house after my mom left, and now it's just us. My dad, always on the move, loves to travel. He has a vintage bike in great shape and visits often, but he's leaving in a week. Your dad seems pretty cool. Think he'd get along with mine? Steven asked. It depends on the connection. My dad's super protective. He shields my sister from everything, even tiny bugs. He's not trusting of guys around me. The last guy I introduced, my dad scared him off right at the doorstep. It was a comedy show. How about a fun bet? I impressed you with the restaurant and my charming self, so let's see if I can impress your dad. I'm betting $1.50. I'm confident I'll win that $145 wager. He's not easily impressed. Amanda, you haven't seen my skills yet. I'm Mr. Cool. I'll win him over, and he might even want us to tie the knot. Just wait and see. Alright, I'm feeling pretty confident about this. We all laughed, thinking he was joking. Little did I know he was serious. When I got home late, my dad was waiting, looking worried. Where have you been, young lady? It's midnight. Oh, Dad, I was working late. There were clients and emergencies. I'm not naive, Amanda. I heard you were with a guy. No one was with me. You're overthinking. I was just with Susan. I called her, and she said you were outside with a friend. Who was it? Fine, it was just Steven, an old friend. We hung out, that's all. Why didn't you mention him before? You know I worry about you. Sorry, Dad, I'll keep you in the loop. Steven's a cab driver, but he's nice. Just relax. Why a cab driver? Next time, just tell your father. The next day at work, I confronted Susan about my dad's worries. She was surprised at first but quickly understood. Why did you tell my dad about Steven? I asked Susan, a mix of frustration and concern in my voice. Chill, I just mentioned you were out with a friend. What if something happened to you? She replied, her tone defensive. Oh, come on, he's adorable and a total gentleman. I'll be meeting his mother soon. His mother? No way, you're moving too fast. The first date doesn't mean anything. He could be a creep for all you know. Don't bet on it, you'll lose, and since you think you're such a great judge of character, just don't even try. We exchanged numbers, and he started calling me more than texting, saying he loved hearing my voice. Steven even suggested I visit his house, claiming his mother was eager to meet me. Panic set in as I recalled Susan's words. Maybe I was rushing things. I wanted to take my time and see how our connection developed first, so I asked him to hold off on involving his mom for now. Steven was persistent but eventually got it. As much as I enjoy spending time with you, I want to take it slow before introducing anyone else. I really like you, but I want to like you even more, you know? Sure, I get it. I'm just so excited. I've never felt like this before. It's always a good time when you're around. You know what? I feel the same way. I'm happy we met. I'm usually outgoing, but not many guys have stood out to me, so this is all new. Are you saying I caught your eye? You're acknowledging that I'm different from other guys? Absolutely. Wow, saying this out loud is more awkward than keeping it to myself. You're the only person I feel I can truly be myself with. Amanda, I feel the same way. After 3 months of getting to know each other, we officially started dating. Steven invited me to a baseball game where a friend of his was making their debut. He sat close to me throughout the game, clearly interested. When our eyes met, he leaned in and gave me the sweetest kiss. That was the moment something special began. I was completely captivated by his charm. He introduced me to his friends, and we'd hang out, share drinks, and enjoy late nights together. Steven always made sure I got home safely, but my dad kept a watchful eye on Steven whenever he dropped me off. The last time he came over, my dad insisted on joining us for dinner, just the 4 of us. To my surprise, it seemed Steven had already won my dad over. It's not typical for my dad to invite people over, but I think he was excited about winning a $50 bet. We planned a special steak dinner for Steven, complete with fish fries, a bit of rice, and some delicious UK curry. We even enjoyed excellent red wine from Detroit. The spread was extravagant for just 4 of us, and I wore my best dress in his favorite color, violet. When Steven arrived, he looked dashing in a fancy tuxedo. Before we sat down to eat, we chatted and got to know each other better. So, Steven, how long have you lived in Detroit? My dad asked. Oh, for 2 years, sir. I know the city like the back of my hand, he replied confidently. That's great. So, you drive a taxi? Remember that night you took a ride with that strange guy? My dad loved sharing stories like that. Not now, Amanda. We're still in the early stages, and my dad thinks it's not the right time for those tales, Steven said, casting me a quick glance. Your dad is right, Amanda. We can be affectionate elsewhere, but not here. Steven, why don't you share that story Amanda mentioned? My dad encouraged. After dinner, as Steven was getting ready to leave, he said, So, do I owe you $50? Nah, I don't need it. I'm just happy to show I can be smooth, I replied. Look at you, all confident. You must be feeling good, he said with a grin. I love you, you know. Yeah, I love you too. 5 months later, Steven finally asked me to meet his mom. I felt it was the right time, but nerves surged as I stood outside her door, wanting to make a good impression. Steven always spoke highly of his mom, Donna. I took a deep breath and knocked, my heart racing. The door opened to reveal a woman with a warm smile and gentle eyes. She welcomed me in, and a wave of relief washed over me. Things felt like they were off to a good start, and I hoped this meeting would spark a wonderful connection. As the evening unfolded, Donna showed genuine curiosity in getting to know me. She asked about my family, hobbies, and dreams. I eagerly shared my stories, aiming to forge a bond with her. As the night went on, I felt increasingly at ease, grateful for the chance to connect with Steven's mother. Yet, amidst the laughter and conversation, a nagging feeling lingered. Donna's warm smile occasionally seemed forced, and her gaze hinted at something unspoken. I couldn't shake the sense that she had thoughts hidden behind her eyes. When dinner concluded, Donna excused herself, leaving Steven and me alone. I turned to him, concern etched on my face. Do you think your mother likes me? There's something off, and I can't quite put my finger on it, I confessed. After stepping away for a moment, Steven returned with Donna, both carrying plates of dessert. During our conversation, Donna praised me, expressing how lucky Steven was to have found someone like me. The topic shifted to marriage, and my heart raced. I choked on my cupcake as Steven shot a surprised glance at his mother. Her words hinted at Steven's intentions to propose. And during our next date, he did. The wedding was simple, held at a small hotel to keep costs down. I was overjoyed to have Steven as my husband. However, throughout the ceremony, Donna remained silent, her expression cold and distant. While I could empathize with a mother feeling sadness over her son's marriage, Donna's demeanor made it hard to connect with her. Afterward, Stephen moved into my house, and Donna's enigmatic attitude continued to puzzle me. My dad returned to my uncle's house, promising to visit Stephen and me soon. Once we settled in, Stephen and I decided to freshen things up a bit. He turned our bedroom into his dream space, while I focused on organizing the living room and sprucing up the kitchen. Shortly after we got married, Susan visited us, even though she was feeling under the weather. It was great to see her and Stephen connect, but then things took a strange turn. My belongings started disappearing. What do you mean, gone? I asked, bewildered. It began with small items, my favorite jacket, a few other things. They just kept vanishing. When I mentioned it to Stephen, he shrugged it off, suggesting I'd simply misplaced them. He wasn't eager to help me track anything down. Should I swing by and lend a hand? I am your good luck charm, after all, he joked. No, it's fine, I'll handle it. I probably just moved them around, I replied, but no matter how much I searched, items continued to vanish without a trace. This puzzling trend persisted for a year, with the situation worsening during our honeymoon. Upon our return, our home was a disaster zone, beer bottles scattered, dirty dishes piled high, and an awful smell wafting from unwashed laundry. I suspected my dad, who had the only spare keys, but when I called, he was still at my uncle's place. I downplayed things, not wanting to worry him, believing Stephen and I could sort it out. One day, I came home early from work, feeling a sense of unease as I unlocked the door. The lock felt off, and a chill ran down my spine. I entered quietly, bracing myself. As I approached the bedroom, I heard noise. Grabbing an umbrella from the corner, I crept toward the sound. To my shock, I found Donna rifling through my closet, wearing my favorite jacket. Stop, I shouted. She turned, claiming I had enchanted her son. Confused, I asked how she got in. She yelled back that this was her son's home, not mine, and that everything belonged to her. In a moment of panic, I swung the umbrella to protect myself. It barely grazed her head, but she collapsed. I called the police, and Donna tearfully admitted her mistake, saying she was terrified of losing her son. She apologized, recognizing the damage she had caused to our relationship and our privacy. Her extreme actions stemmed from love for Stephen, but she finally grasped how serious her behavior was. The police put her in handcuffs while I showed them my property documents. They confirmed she had broken in and stolen my things, advising me to be cautious with any objects around others. Looking at Stephen, I could see he felt both regret and sorrow. It's complicated, I said. Donna has always been overprotective. She thought she had to protect me no matter what, even if it meant crossing lines. Stephen, are you a child? Don't you know the difference between right and wrong? I added, frustration creeping into my voice. I'm sorry, Amanda, I didn't think it would go this far, he replied. At first, your mom seemed nice, but her true nature was hidden behind that friendly facade. I can't deal with this anymore. Though forgiveness wouldn't come easily, we recognized that Donna was genuinely sorry and that Stephen had misread the situation. Over the next few months, we took steps to secure our home and set clear boundaries with her, including changing locks and installing a security system. Still feeling hurt, I decided I needed some space and suggested we take a break. Stephen understood and gave me the time I needed. My dad stayed with me until I started to feel better. Donna is set to be released from jail soon, but she can't be a part of my life anymore. I'm healing, but for Stephen to be back in my life, things need to change.